October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. We're going in depth with Spectrum News 13 anchor Eric Levy to tell you about the scams you need to be on the lookout online.
Okay, Tom, so what are the most common scams that you are seeing?
So, unfortunately, I see a lot of them, and they're happening more and more and more. So, one of the most common ones is a phishing, and that's phishing with PH, right? We're not fishing for salmon. But what happens is these cyber crooks will emulate or mimic, like your bank, for example. It'll send you an email, it looks legit, sounds legit, seems legit, the logo looks great. You click a link to go update your account info, and then you essentially feed these cyber crooks all your personal info, and then it's off to the races.
So it's not just phishing, there's another spearheading?
There's SpearPhishing.
SpearPhishing, that's what it is.
So SpearPhishing is essentially a little bit more evil than phishing. And basically the way it works is a hacker will find someone in your organization, let's say you work for a city. So they'll find the chief HR person for the city, they'll mimic their email address, send an email to all of the employees, ask them to, update their social or what have you. They take all that personal info, and now they've got, an army of people's information that they can sell on the dark web.
So when you get these emails and they look legit, obviously, there are some things with these emails that you can spot that just look fake. Because, sure, the logo's there, but there's things you can look for.
Absolutely. So I always tell people, look carefully at the wording and the grammar on every email. If your boss doesn't have really great grammar skills, well, then you have to take that into account. But certainly you'll see typos and misspellings. And a lot of the times, these are coming from overseas. So you'll notice certain things in the English language that just don't seem to make sense. So really look out for the spelling. Also, hover over any link before you click it.
I was just going to mention that. We've talked about this before, because if you hover over the link, you'll see...
Yeah, like the URL. You should be able to see the URL in the bottom left corner, depending on what software you're using. And if it looks really goofy and it has a whole bunch of question marks and strings, and it doesn't make sense, don't click it.
Yeah, it's like www.xqr35xyl. Something or other, slash a bunch of mess of symbols and everything like that.
Rather than your company name here. So,
and again, most companies will not send a link for you to click on to update your information.
Correct. And, I tell people, be really vigilant with putting any personal info. I know that sounds like common sense, but, I wouldn't give my Social Security number out to my employer via email, period, anyway. So we just really have to be on guard.
I mean, I get the text messages and the push alerts when I need to update my information for an app like my banking app and say log into the app or when you log into the app, you'll see the notification saying, hey, we're having, we have questions about your information. Click here, click on this to take you to this page, but it's right on the app. And that's a little bit more reliable to actually do it on the app instead of through an email.
Absolutely correct.
So how else can we protect ourselves then from the phishing scams?
Well, that's a great question. And a lot of this stuff is happening over free public Wi-Fi. So, imagine yourself at your local coffee shop and you hook into that free Wi-Fi. Well, listen, that free Wi-Fi is easily spoofed by a hacker sitting in that room. They can actually take their phone, create a hotspot, and call it Coffee Shop 2 free Wi-Fi. If your phone gravitates to that and hooks into that signal, they can get into your phone, get your personal data or anything you transmit, and snag that as well. So a lot of this, Eric, it's all about vigilance, and it's all about being aware that we have so many devices connected to the internet. Go home, your TV's connected. There's refrigerators that connect to the net now. So it's crazy, but we have to keep everything updated, have to run antivirus, and you certainly have to be very careful about what you connect to.
And then if I do fall victim and become a victim of a scam, then what?
So certainly call your credit card companies, call your bank, go through all those to make sure that you can get your accounts frozen. I also advise people to go to the credit bureaus, and you can put a freeze or a halt on your credit. So if you do get compromised, they can't be opening mortgages in your name or applying for credit cards. So it's a real pain, but you have to do it.
It's better to be deal with the pain and annoyance, if you will, to protect yourself than have to deal with everything if you do have your information stolen. I've had money stolen out of my bank account. It's not it's not easy to get a new card. You've got to call, you've got to file the complaint, and if your bank is good enough, mine, if it sounds legit, mine actually gave me the money back on a contingency, obviously, to make sure that it wasn't a bogus claim. But it's a pain. So protect yourself and. So you don't have to deal with the stress.
Keep protecting
later.
yourself because, for example, somebody applied or filed taxes on my behalf because of that Experian breach a while ago. So something that may have happened 3 or 4 years ago could now just be catching up with you. So you really do have to stay vigilant, stay on top of it, and don't let your guard down.
Scary stuff. All right, Tom Jelneck with On Target Digital Marketing. Thanks. Good to see you as always.
Great to see you.
All right,
thank you.
Come back.
Governor Ron DeSantis announces he is backing legislation allowing